We're rolling? We're rolling? Okay. Hey everyone, my name is Richie, I'm a filmmaker, and today we are looking at how to effectively set up your video editing projects in Premiere Pro. So here in Scotland, we're still in lockdown right now, which means that leaving the house is a bit of a luxury. This means that I'm not really able to get outside to film more camera tests, so today I thought we'd look at something that we can do from the comfort of our own homes/prisons, which is post-production. I've been video editing since I was around 13 years old, and I've learned a lot during that time. I started using Windows Movie Maker, creating awful stop frame animations and skate videos with my friends, which I still have, so maybe one day I'll share them on this channel. I then moved on to Premiere Pro, After Effects and Final Cut over the course of my studies, and then took that into the industry. So I wanted to share some of the techniques that I've picked up along the way to help you with your own projects. Banana bread. Today though, we're going to look at something that is super fundamental and, to be honest, really basic, that helps to create a smooth production workflow that you can apply to every single project. So now I need to magically teleport to my editing PC. 2 seconds. One of the most important things about building a video project is actually more about your file hierarchy. And before you even start in your editing project, making sure that your folders are organized in a way that's going to help you throughout your entire project. So let's follow the process for if I were to start a new project. So first of all, I'm going to start a new folder. Let's call it Project Example. So this is where all of the files for this project are going to live. First, I'm going to create a folder in here called Video. This is where we'll keep all of our video assets. Then we're going to create one for audio assets. I like to create another one just called Assets for things like graphics or any animations or sort of additional pieces that you might like to include in here. If you're going to have a lot of sort of animations, maybe you want to dedicate a folder to animations, but I generally don't use too many, so I'm just going to keep one for Assets. I'm going to create a folder called Output, which is where all of our finished rendered videos are going to go. And I'll create another one called Projects. So once we have this set up, then we're going to open Premiere Pro. How are we doing, autofocus? Are you good? Are you working? I'm back here now. Jesus. When you open up Premiere, you'll be greeted with this pop-up window to begin with. This is for opening previous projects. Go away. So obviously we want to hit New Project. So let's call this Project Example 1. I like to number my projects in case you have to come back and create sort of different iterations. So next we want to choose our location. So we can go to our live projects folder. Now we can choose our project example. We're going to save this into our project. Now we can select folder. In 9 out of 10 times, you probably won't need to touch these settings. This is to do with how your computer is going to render files. For scratch disks, I like to keep everything as same as project so that all of your files are sort of encapsulated into one location. It just tends to keep things a little bit neater, so you can keep on top of all of your additional files. It's worth noting that as you create a project in Premiere Pro, it will generate lots of small files in the background. So things like your project autosaves, which are really useful. Your audio previews, your video previews, your captured audio, and any captured video you might use. So it makes sense to have these all in one place so you know where they are. So this is all fine, we'll hit OK. And this is going to load up our project with the Premiere Pro kind of default window setup. This is just personal preference. I like to have this here. So one of the really important things in Premiere Pro is sort of understanding where your assets are coming from. The way that video editing projects work is you're not actually putting your video file into the project, your project is just kind of referencing it. So let's say you have a 1 GB video and you put it into your video project isn't now a 1 GB video project, it just references the files. But to do that, the program has to know where your files are at all times. So you have to have that consistency across the duration of your entire project. So I'll show you an example of a populated project to show you what that looks like. So some of you might have recently seen my GoPro Hero 9 video, so I'll show you the project for that. Okay, so here is the master timeline with the edit in place here. Who's that? ugly man. So here is the GoPro Hero 9 project that I worked on. There's my big face. So if we go to my project folder, which is here, YouTube GoPro 9 features, in here you'll see I've split this one into just 3. So I've got my output, these are my output files. Projects, these are the autosaves and other projects that I mentioned, other project files here. So what I've done in this instance is inside the video folder, I've created subfolders just to keep things a little bit more organized. And then literally all I did was select these all and drag them into the video folder. And this will recreate your structure and copy everything over. So as you can see, we've got the GoPro product shots in here. Here's all the product shots. GoPro sample footage, you can see here. It's replicated in here. Now the only time where this may deviate from the rule is when you're dealing with video assets that you might use across several projects. So for instance, I like to keep a folder on my F drive called video assets. And this is just, that's my banana bread done. Okay Google, stop alarm. Whoa, look at that. Look at that, gorgeous. Right, I need to get a bit of tinfoil on that. Sorry about that. So I like to keep a folder separate on my computer for all of my sort of video assets that I've collected across the many years. So this contains things like animations and transitions, any templates that I've purchased, graphics, LUTs, music and overlays. So when I use these files in a project, I tend to keep them in the same location and I will just drag them into the project from that location. Now the only time that this wouldn't work is if you needed to send the project file and all of its contents to someone else. Say if you're passing a project on, in that case, all you'd have to do is find whatever assets it was that you were using and copy that into your original project location and then package that all up to send. Here's an example of what happens if you move a video file that your project is using. Let's take this clip. Let's reveal an Explorer. So here is this clip in the video folder as part of our project. Let's dump it on our desktop. Now if we go back into our project, you get this pop-up, which basically tells us that Premiere has lost the file. It doesn't know where it's gone, so it doesn't know what to reference. If we come out of here, you'll see that the clip is then replaced with this media offline graphic, which is very, very annoying. So if this does happen to you and you want to relink your file, we put this file back into its correct location. Premiere still hasn't been told that the file is back where it should be, so you can right click and hit link media, which brings this pop-up box, and then you can, with this selected, you can select locate. Now we're looking for 10041. Here's the clip here, hit OK, and then it relinks the file. The reason it's so useful and important to have this file structure in place is so that you can keep on top of your two file structures and make sure that everything is where it needs to be. If your project reflects your file hierarchy, then you're going to have a much easier time locating files, you're going to have a much easier time sort of staying on top of everything and keeping your project nice and organized. So there you go. I mean, I'll be the first to admit that file management is not the most sexy part of video editing. However, hopefully this has illustrated how important it can be. Hopefully this will help you to start each project on the right foot, because getting your project set up and file why can't I say that word? Getting your project set up and file hierarchy right can really prevent a lot of headaches later down the road. It also just makes it generally easier for you to navigate through your project assets, which allows you to edit faster because you're not having to rummage around your scattered files. And in fact, it reminds me of what my great-grandpappy used to say to me when I was a wee lad. He'd sit me down on his knee and he'd say, "Richie, optimized file hierarchies can dramatically improve your post-production efficacy by eliminating unnecessary digital clutter." And it just really stuck with me. So I hope that this tip helps to ensure that your projects stay organized and efficient, and hopefully make the whole editing process smoother and just generally more enjoyable. If there are any other aspects of video editing that you'd like me to delve into, then be sure to leave a comment and let me know. I'll probably make some more of these while the weather is terrible here. It's been raining for about 5 years here in Scotland. And if you go outside, you run the risk of getting mega COVID and dying. So let me know what you'd like to learn about. And finally, a big thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, a sheet of tinfoil over your banana bread in the oven will stop the top from browning too much. And I'll see you next time. And that's how you get perfect banana bread. It is perfect. I'm not even exaggerating, it's perfect.